Dolphins fans, welcome into Dolphins Today. I am Tom Down, and we have a roster projection for you guys with training camp finally pretty much here for the Dolphins. The first-year players, at least, have reported. I will make note, the 53-player projection you'll see was done mostly by my guy, Willie Finns, before he left, so do keep that in mind. We begin with the quarterbacks. 3 names on the list, which, it makes sense. You can carry a third quarterback on the game day roster without it counting because the NFL felt bad for the 49ers. Tua, of course, is QB1. Mike White, Skylar Thompson, rounding out the backups behind Tua. In the end, the Dolphins' success will hinge on whether or not Tua is healthy. Mike White can have some moments, but, he's a backup. Skylar Thompson is fun, but he's more of a preseason legend than like a guy that's going to win you playoff games, etc. So the Dolphins are banking on Tua avoiding the concussion issues that plagued him last year while playing much like he did last year when healthy, which was really well. So are you a member of Tuanon? I count myself in there because I think it's hilarious and it's a great little bit, but he's also, I think, a top 15 at minimum quarterback who gets a lot more hate than he should for whatever reason. So are you a member? Y for yes and for no. Go vote in the comments section. Let's have some fun with running back. Why not put Dalvin Cook on there and project that he ends up in Miami? It might look really smart, or it's going to look really dumb, and there is no in-between that we'll know at some point in the next probably couple of weeks. I'll also put Raheem Mostert on there. Or maybe I'll say we will, because I'd made a couple minor tweaks from Will's, but like Dalvin Cook I put in there because it's fun. Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, Devon Achane, Alec Ingold there are your 5 backs, including a fullback, which means no room for guys like Myles Gaskin, etc. The Dolphins do have an offer out to Dalvin Cook. I do not believe the lack of acceptance of that offer from Cook means Dalvin doesn't want to be in Miami. I think it means he's trying to get as much money as possible, ideally from the Miami Dolphins. We'll just have to wait and see if and when that ends up going down in terms of where he signs and for how much money. So be honest with me. What is the % chance you think the Dolphins end up signing Dalvin Cook? My prediction, and I can't change it now because that makes me a flip-flopper, is Miami. I think the confidence level is maybe 50-50. Kind of hope the Patriots sign Fournette because that takes out one of the big contenders for Dalvin Cook. But it's going to be today's pinned comment. So if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. 2 locks at wide receiver. That's Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. I think Braxton Berrios is somewhat safe. If the Dolphins want to eat a bunch of dead money for Cedric Wilson, then they would be able to cut him. I think Eric Ezukama gets at least one more season to show what he can do. And Tyreek Hill wants some more speed, and because speed's awesome. And Robbie Chosen, a.k.a. Chosen Anderson, a.k.a. Robbie Anderson, a.k.a. Robbie with an I.E. Anderson. That's a pretty solid 6-man wide receiver grouping, even if they will run a lot of 2 receiver targets for Hill and Waddle because those guys are electric as all get out. Tight end is next up here, and this is the really outside. Durham Smythe is a roster lock. I feel confident saying that one. I think Eric Saubert makes the team as a good depth piece. Tanner Connor could be a nice tight end 3. We'll also throw Elijah Higgins in this group. I just put him in the wrong spot, so I didn't show on the depth chart. But Elijah Higgins will also make the team as your 4th tight end. Maybe Tyler Kroft can impress. Who knows? But 4 tight ends, Smythe, Saubert, Connor, and Higgins, does not inspire confidence in this group. Smythe, of course, played at Notre Dame. There is some great size at 6'6", 246, can block a little bit. This is not the George Kittle-led Niners-style offense. McDaniel, especially if you listen to that the Athletic Play Caller series, you can kind of see the differences in what McDaniel's done versus what Shanahan has done. This is going to feature the wide receivers. The tight end is much more of a secondary, tertiary, 4th option, even 5th option at times in this offense. I think having someone that can block, though, will help out quite a bit from a run game perspective. Now, if you're a member of Tuanon, I assume you have some Tua gear right now. Get yours on sale. Jerseys, signed items, the jerseys, the t-shirt jersey combo at chatsports.com/Tua. That link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. Get some gear, repping or signed by the Dolphins franchise quarterback. They have the mini football helmets, not, of course, depending on what device you're watching, maybe it's close to life size, but not actual size compared to me. It's one of the mini helmets there. Chatsports.com/Tua. Check it out. Links in the comments and the description of today's show. The offensive line next up here. So roster locks in no particular order. Teron Armstead, Connor Williams, Robert Hunt. I think from a money given out perspective, Dan Feeney, Isaiah Wynn are probably going to make this team. I think Austin Jackson will make it. Liam Eichenberg will probably make it. It's the backup offensive line spots. The Cedric Ogbuehi, he beat out guys like a Kendall Lamb, a Jerron Christian, Ryan Hayes, the 7th-round tackle pick, who I kind of like, but Will only went with 9 spots here on the O-line, so I kept that there. Keeping Robert Jones over Lester Cotton. There are some names on this unit, but, man, there's a but involved with all of them, right? Teron Armstead, great, but he's often hurt. Liam Eichenberg, but he's not that great. Connor Williams, actually a good center, but had some snap issues, as Will I love to point out every chance he got. Robert Hunt's been a solid, but is not a star player. Austin Jackson has had issues as a first-round pick. So what is your confidence level in the Dolphins' offensive line, as I can't speak all of a sudden? Scale it from 1 to 10 in the comment section, 1 on the low end, 10 on the high end. We'll go super light on the defensive line here. Zach Sealer, Raekwon Davis, Christian Wilkins aren't going anywhere. We'll put Emmanuel Ogbah at defensive end, but he's really another edge option, but it just looked kind of weird if there were only 4 defensive linemen on here, so I kind of cheated a little bit. We'll put Brandon Peely as another defensive lineman for this Dolphins team over guys like Anthony Montalvo, Jalen Twyman, Josiah Bronson. It's just not a great group. I wouldn't be shocked if that 4th or 5th pure defensive lineman came from outside the roster come roster cutdown time. But they do, of course, have Christian Wilkins, who put up an ungodly number of tackles for an interior defensive lineman. You don't see that many. It's indicative of how good he was as a run stopper last year for the Fins. Now, if you are a true diehard Dolphins fan, this is the right channel for you. We have Dolphins videos every single day. If you haven't already, hit that sub button right now for more Dolphins updates. We'll group the linebackers together, so this will take a little bit longer to get through here. The edges, Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, Emmanuel Ogbah on the last list too, Andrew Van Ginkel, and Malik Reed. You know, that does mean guys like Cameron Good end up getting cut, but I think this is the right path for the Dolphins at outside linebacker. We wanted to find room for Aubrey Miller. He did get a pretty sizable signing bonus from the Fins as a UDFA, but I'm not going to cut Channing Tindall 1 year after being a 3rd-round pick. Duke Riley can help them as a veteran-ish option at linebacker, and of those 3 guys, definitely would be easiest to get Aubrey Miller through to the practice squad, which is where we would have him be. So when it comes to the pass rushers, who leads the Dolphins in sacks this year? Is it Bradley Chubb? Is it, Jalen Phillips? That's my prediction. Is it Christian Wilkins? Is it somebody else altogether? Emmanuel Ogbah. Get those predictions in for me in the comment section. All right, roster locks at corner. Jalen Ramsey, Xavier Howard, Nickelback, Kader Kohu, and Cameron Smith. I did keep Trill Williams up here just for you, Will, because I know how much you love your Syracuse boys. Nick Needham ends up making it as well over some notable players, special teams guys like Justin Bethel, Keon Crossan, and Noah Igbenogany, who is very much on the roster bubble. He has not been able to play that much football, and there's a reason the Dolphins took Cam Smith in the second round. They wanted more corners because Noah I has not emerged as a viable piece in that secondary group. So name a player who you think ends up getting cut. Any player at any position, the more notable name, the better. Like, yes, we all fully expect Chris Brooks, the 5th string back, to get cut, but that's kind of a boring name. Drop that name, though, for me in the comments. Safety was pretty easy. Javon Holland, Brandon Jones, Deshaun Elliott are roster locks. That leaves one roster battle for guys like Elijah Campbell, for guys like Verone McKinley. Maybe one of those corners competes as they just go 3 safety, they go light there. But I got Verone McKinley in there. I think that's the right choice as that 4th safety. Coaches are going to love him and his football intelligence. Finally, special teamers. Jason Sanders, a kicker. Blake Ferguson, nobody else on the roster. And no surprise, but Will took Michael Turk over Jake Bailey. Can't say I'm too surprised by that one, but I have no complaints about it at all to round out the 53-man roster.